Howdy.
Sarah Morgan. It's been what, almost 10 years?
Admiral, it's, good to see you again, sir.
You're not required to address me as sir. That protocol ended the moment you dropped your clusters on my desk, remember?
Look, Admiral, I'm not here to open old wounds.
Old wounds is an interesting turn of phrase, given our past. Listen to me, Commander. I'm not sure why you're here, but whatever it is, why don't you just get to it?
I'm here because I need your help, Admiral.
You need my help. That's interesting. The last time we spoke, you made it quite clear that you were turning your back on the Navy.
That was a decade ago. Things change. People change. Admiral, please. I didn't come here to argue. I'm here to come to terms with my past.
Your past is sitting in a closed file in the archives. That's where you left it when you walked out on the United Colonies. And what about you? Just who in the blazes are you anyway? Very well. Then, as a good friend, perhaps you could kindly explain to me why I shouldn't have the both of you escorted from the building.
With all due respect, Admiral, this is ridiculous. If you have a problem with me, then there's no need to berate my colleague.
I don't have a problem with you, Commander. I'm simply trying to determine why you deserve the Navy's help. Sounds like an issue outside the purview of this department. Care to explain, Commander?
It's about Cassiopeia, Admiral. I'm heading back there to find out what happened to the crew of the Dauntless, and hopefully, to bring their legacy home.
That sounds like a dangerous operation. Are you certain it's worth the risk?
I don't know.
I wish it was that simple. If the Navy gives its blessing for you to undertake this operation, then we assume responsibility. And frankly, I'd never forgive myself if you didn't return.
I appreciate the concern, Admiral. But that crew was my responsibility. No matter how difficult the risk, those men and women are coming home.
I understand. And I believe I owe you an apology, Commander. Our last encounter has obviously distorted my impression of your character. What can I do to help?
If you wouldn't mind allowing me to access the files regarding my rescue, I'd be most grateful, Admiral.
That shouldn't be too difficult. I've sent all the relevant information to your slates. Was there anything else?
No, Admiral. Thank you.
You don't need to thank me, Commander. I just hope you find whatever it is you're looking for.
We should make sure we're well supplied for the trip to Cassiopeia.
Okay. Hello.
Yes? All that junk you're hauling is seriously slowing you down. It's amazing to think that this tree predates New Atlantis.
Oh, I was hoping we might
Can
run
you
into one
imagine
another
all
again.
the changes it's seen?
Your timing is most fortuitous. I'm on the verge of something, but I don't quite have all the information I need. You have no idea how much I appreciate that. Truly. Of course, now that I understand more about what's going on, it seems plain as day. And yet I never would have imagined it before. The tertiary trunks have also liquefied their interiors, but they're not vibrating. I thought perhaps it was some sort of defect, but it's much simpler. They're listening. That's a very reductive and borderline insulting way of looking at things. I believe this tree is sending vibrations out over massive distances and expecting to detect sympathetic vibrations in return. As of yet, there's been no response. I suspect that will not change, that a response is impossible, and that's very, very bad news. No, I'm sorry, but I believe that reaction is premature. There's still one thing I'd like to try. Now, as of yet, there has been no response, and clearly none of the nearby individuals are a correct match. While it can't be ruled out that the intended recipient of these messages was cut down during the city's expansion, there is one other possibility. Over 100 years ago, the United Colonies and the Freestar Collective emerged from the Narian War. As a gesture of peace and goodwill, a near-literal olive branch, one of the trees from New Atlantis, was offered to the leaders of Aquila City. Nice. Short-sighted and ill-advised, in my opinion. Of course, you can't just uproot a native species and plunk it down on some other planet in a totally different environment and expect it to grow. Clearly, no exobotanists were consulted ahead of time. The end result was wholly predictable. The tree died within a few short years. I'm sorry, I'll get to the point. The tree died, yes, but branches were kept. At least one still exists in the museum there in the city. If I had that branch, I could get DNA samples, and then using various data I've gathered, I could attempt to simulate a response. We could then broadcast that response and hopefully calm down our friend here. But as I say, I need that branch. I knew you would understand. The museum in Aquila City is under the supervision of one Miss Kassler, I'm told. I don't know anything about her, but hopefully she'll be willing to listen to reason and assist our cause. All right, off you go. We don't have any time to waste.
Service with a smile. That's the UC way.
I hope Aquila City has what we need.
That's why I bought the bottle of Pinot Noir. We're gonna celebrate 10 years together.
You will be scanned as you enter the city. Please keep.
No, this is where we have our second. Hey, got anything you need to offload? Trade Authority is always buying. Kiosk right here for you. I would try to viewport. It'll be on your left once you get into the plaza. Sure thing. We'll get it fixed up, good as new. Looks to me like you're already in pretty good shape. I'm sure you can find something you like. I'm sure you can find...
clogged. We'll get those cleaned out.
Let me know when you're ready to launch.
I'm working hard, Cap.
Used to be an actuary. Now, be careful if you run into those ecliptic jerks. They fly around like they own the settled systems. And they like to use old abandoned facilities as outposts. You know, the ones left over from the colony war.
You looking for the Rangers? Head on up the steps.
Look what the Astra dragged in.
If it's advice you need, then advice I'll share.
Welcome, Tracker.
If you're here to convince me